Alright, welcome back everyone. This is hellosugaree here with my co-host Slimbone. We're casting a best of 5 here versus our Zerg player, Greatpaz. He's in the top left here. He's our, I guess, dark blue Zerg. And in the bottom left here we have our light blue Protoss, Zerkerman. The series is now tied 1-1. Slim, tell us something.
Tell you something? You gotta be a little more specific than that, buddy.
Say something about this map, I guess. What do you expect?
Well, on this map, generally TOS tend to play more of a macro game because it's very easy for them to take this third and secure it with this ramp to the third, because it's easily blocked with 3 gateways and a couple cannons behind, which gives you more than enough time to react with your army, because gateways have a lot of HP, so like the roaches take time to knock it down, and things can't do a run by into the third, which leaves only the ramp to the natural and main to really defend. And for our Zerg player, it's very crucial that he takes that third, but in order for him to take that third, he needs to kill these rocks. Like, he can take the third beforehand, but these rocks need to be a top priority in the first 7 minutes of the game, because just having the Zerg player having to take this extra 10 seconds to go around and into the third is a big deal when he could just go straight across, or say if the TOS player force fields, he can end up baiting out a couple more force fields, because the TOS player has to guard 2 choke points.
Yeah, that's definitely critical, because I mean, if with this this single ramp, even if you get there in time, I mean, basically you just have to throw up a couple force fields. If that's your only path in, at least this way you can get around and get the flank, and at least force them to use twice as many force fields, so that they can't hold you out there forever. But I think that is going to be crucial in this game if it does get into a macro game, and it looks like our Protoss player is saving up a bunch of money. I think he's going to throw down a Nexus here, but I don't know what's going on. He's now up to 500, 600. So, and he does throw down the Nexus, so that's a little bit late. Maybe he was just waiting for his scout to make sure that that hatch does go down. And it looks like the pool is up, the hatch is down. And again, I think crucial in this game is whether or not our Zerg is going to be able to hold his third base. In the first game, he lost that third base, basically never was able to recover from it. In the second game, he was able to get those 3 bases up, hold that early inevitable Zealot Warpin around the 7 to 8 minute mark. So
Yes, so we're seeing the center play at this moment. Like, there's nothing out of the ordinary. TOS went Nexus first before a Forge, which is actually pretty big. I agree with the decision making, because you've seen the Zerg play went for a hatch first, so you can generally go for a Nexus first, especially on a big map like Antoon Valley. He really does need to be putting up a cannon about now, and he does place the cannon. He cancels it to put it in a slightly different position that really was not necessary at all. But let's see how things play out from here. We got the 3 links coming in. This cannon is not going to be up in time, but these are just 3 links. These lanes are just going to do a little poke. They're not going to make
I feel like the cannon, it's not a huge deal anyway, but putting it maybe between, I don't know if there's room there between the gateway and the forge, but that might have been a better spot so that there's not as much room where they can't get us around. But like you said, these lings are just basically looking to get in, get some scouting, be a little bit annoying. Maybe pick off a drone here, and he does pick off that. Nope. Yeah, and he does get that drone on the gas and deny a bunch of mining time. I don't know why he pulled all his probes down. Then this just doesn't make sense for him to pull his probes this much for 3 Zerglings.
This is a really bad reaction by our TOS player. This makes our Zerg player, gives him a huge advantage in the early game, because right now he's not mining with only 2 probes. Yeah. He's still not mining with the rest of these probes. He's got him chasing. This makes absolutely no sense.
Just basically parked that Zealot there in the mineral line to guard that, or even just brought his probes down to the natural here. There's that cannon. That Zergling is not going to make it through to there, so that's just really, major overreaction by our Protoss player.
As you can see, our Zerg player is going up. He's taking his gases. He's taking 3 instead of 2 at the 6 minute mark. This is an interesting play. It's not too far from the standard. He probably wants to get his tech off just a little bit faster. He's going to get his lair. I expect to see him after the lair starts, about 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, he's going to put down his roach horn. He's going to get his speed flings. We just see 2 Evo chambers after the lair begins as well.
Still droning up, but he did take those 4 gases right away, so that's interesting, although I guess they came maybe a little bit later. Usually you see them take those 2 gases around the 6 minute mark, but we'll see what he decides to do with that. Maybe he's going to tech up, get that quick lair, and go for some quick mutas, or really no idea at this point.
And as we can see, our Zerg players beginning to start crushing these rocks. We like to see them spread some creep, so you can just put a spine wall at the ramp to the third, because that's very effective in delaying the toss player. Plus, like, they can't really force build you if you have the spines there. The other spines will still do damage and make the army pull off a little bit. He's sitting here droning up. This is what a good Zerg player does. And you see he put his Roach Warren down, his Evo Chamber. His speed is about halfway done, 2/3 almost. He's droning up hard. That's what he needs to be doing. If you look at our toss player, he's just now put 3 additional gateways down. He's got no robo bay, which means he's going to do for some sort of early. Oh, and he's got his +1 is almost done. So our toss player is definitely going to do a little gateway unit harass early on in the game. I would like to see him put down an additional 2 gateways, just to make it 6. So that
yeah, definitely. And having those extra gateways really opens up a lot of options because, you know, of course, pretty much every Protoss player basically is going to make that Zealot poke into the third. But if you get in there and you see that, basically that Zealot poke is basically that they're not prepared for it, and you have the extra gateways, you can often move into a more serious attack, and at least leaves your options open if you want to continue to put on additional pressure past that. And these Zealots going to go ahead and focus down this spine crawler. Zergling's working on that pylon, but they are going to come up and help this queen out. Queen is going to fall. And yeah, more Zealots warping in, so this is going to be huge if he can get this third down. Zerglings and Roaches do come out, but that's now 7, or I guess 6 now, but the Zealots are falling. 3 Roaches still there, so 5 more Roaches in production, and they will make it out in time, so he is going to hold this third here, and that's going to be critical.
It was nice of our Zerg player to save the Queen. The Queen is very essential, especially this early in the game. I would like to see him pull the Queen back now that the aggression is over, so he can start injecting his third hash. Instead, he's just going to rebuild the Queen there. I guess he's just going to use this Queen over here to spread creep, or just regenerate some life. He's got his speed upgrade for his Roaches incoming. His +1 armor is almost done.
And yeah,
as we can see, our toss player. He's still
okay. Yeah, and he does have the Immortal coming out, and we did actually see the Spire, so that was. I guess my call was correct there on those quick 4 gases. He is going to move into the Spire, maybe look to get in and do some harass. There's not a ton of Stalkers on the field, and now he's just throwing down a robotics bay, another robotics facility, so not a ton of gateways. He's only at 4 gateways, so with only 4 gateways, with this amount of gas, our Zerg player now has almost 1,000 gas saved up, so he's saving up a ton of gas. He's going to probably put out about 12, 13, 14 mutas when this Spire pops here in another 30 seconds or so, and that can be huge. With only 4 gateways to defend, he could do some serious damage.
It's something that's crucial here. Our toss player just broke the rocks to his third, and he's looking to take a really fast third. He's building his pylon up now, so maybe he'll finally do the gateway wall. We have a Roach poking in right now, so he's going to scout out this third base timing. And most likely he's going to send in his Roaches to do some early aggression, try to delay the start as long as possible. But at this position right now, the toss player is looking at real trouble because he has not scouted out the Spire tech. The Spire will easily run through and kill all these sentries, which is going to be huge for the Zerg player. He can easily take out the Immortal. Our toss player only has 1 Stalker, so he's not going to be able to defend against these 15 incoming mutas. It's looking very dangerous for our toss player. This is going to be GG in a minute if our toss player does not start
so the scouting, I mean,
Stalkers.
I feel like he has the Robo out. He was trying to put out these Colossus here, or excuse me, these Immortals. Obviously to defend against any Roaches. He's got a ton of sentries, so it looks like he's trying to defend and play the macro game here. But I feel like just putting out an early observer would have been definitely in his favor. If he was able to scout that Spire, he could basically put out a bunch of Stalkers, and that would really negate the Spire and make that investment, not really worth it. And these mutas now, we have looks like 17 mutas.
This is a multi-pronged attack. There's a multi-pronged attack incoming. He's going to attack the natural with the mutas. Possibly
so that's
Colossi.
huge.
Roaches should be our toss player. Our Zerg player should just ran up into the main. But right now he's going to do his multi-pronged attack. His Roaches should be rallying over to the third any time now. For the multi-pronged attack, which is going to be so dangerous against his tosses. His army is already weak against mutas, so he's going to have to split them up.
Really just not enough units here for our Protoss player. He's continuing to warp in Stalkers, but this is he's still on 16 mutas, and he's got now 22 Zerglings and 32 Roaches on the field, so this is huge. And now he did get 2 more gateways up here, so now he's on, looks like 6 gateways, and but this is still a sizable force from our Zerg player, so he's going to look to get in with these mutas here, just be as annoying as possible, draw the forces across the field, and basically just waiting and looking for a way to get in. But as the longer he waits here, the more stalkers that are going to continue to be warped in, and it looks like our Protoss player may be able to hold this off.
Yeah, our Zerg player really missed his golden opportunity time with those mutas. Right now, he gave our Toss player too much time to build up in stalkers. He could have done a multi-pronged attack, or he could have just went in and picked off all the sentries, because the sentries are going to be crucial against these roaches. The Colossi are dangerous alone, but without the sentries, the roaches going to come in and swarm. And plus, that's a lot of gas he could have picked off. He could have made those mutas investment already paid
he
off.
has a chance to snipe some Colossus here. Let's see if he gets the Colossus. He is going to get... No, he's not going to get the Colossus. But yeah...
That Colossus was 17 HP.
He is going to do a good job and get in here and snipe a bunch of probes, though, be annoying and harass as much as possible. We'll see how our Zerg player reacts to this, if he's going to go put up... our Protoss player, if he's going to put up cannons in his mineral line, although I don't think that our Zerg player is going to look to stick on these mutas. I think he's just basically, you know, put out a group of mutas, hopefully force a reaction, get in, do some harass. But yeah, I mean, I feel like he really missed an opportunity. He could have probably taken out all these probes. He could have gotten into the main, you know, denied a ton of mining, really killed the economy, and instead he just missed an opportunity.
At this point, these mutas are more for a contain, because you see the Toss army cannot move out now. He cannot threaten the Zerg in any way. He's killed 22 workers right now to Toss's 0 workers. He's also killed 33 units to Toss's 17, which means he's being way too cost efficient for this Toss player to keep up. As you can see, as soon as these units move out, our Zerg player should be moving his mutas back in. Instead, he's going to bring them back to his army and try to hold off this push. Don't quite agree with this move, but let's see what he does. Oh, he's got the mutas moving away from his army.
So we'll see where he goes here. Looks like the Protoss is going to come out into the middle of the map, looking to engage. I don't know where are the mutas, though. I feel like the mutas would be helpful. At least mutas are not great against stalkers, but to snipe some of these Colossus, because Colossus will just eat through roaches, and that's exactly what happens.
Well, our Zerg player has so much money banked up, and he's been hitting his index fairly well, so he had a bunch of larvae as well.
And look at
as
this
you can see, he's
spread
on
here.
5 bases. He's already re-maxed, so that was actually a pretty good move for him. Right now, he's killing all the workers. He's being very annoying in Toss's base. Toss can't really do much at this position. All he's really left to do is attempt an all-in, a base race. Our Toss is pretty much in the worst position possible as a Toss player.
And these Colossus here are pretty low on health. He's going to have to micro those as much as possible, but
really good force fields. These force fields just saved him in this engagement. But our player is just able to remax as soon as the unit dies. He's rebuilding it. This is very good macro from our Zerg player. As you can see, our Toss player has absolutely no probes except at his third, which is not enough to stabilize the gateways he has, his production buildings. But yeah, we should be seeing the GG any moment soon.
Colossus down, and there's pretty much nothing else here. These mutas still in Protoss's base here, just wreaking havoc, sniping this Nexus now. There's almost no mining just off his third here for Protoss, and basically on 2 Colossus, and we're going to see the GG here any minute.
Yeah, there's not much else left to say about this game.
Really nice job, and that was also great. You know, we were paying so much attention to these mutas that we actually missed the fact that our Zerg player went ahead and took another 2 bases, so he was on 5 bases. And really good, you know, just all-around play by Greatpaz, our blue Zerg player. So he is now up 3-1 in this series. No, excuse me, 2-1 in this series.